Hey there, everyone. Welcome to this radio channel. And this is another Shortwave tuning the bands. And we are live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This is every 2 weeks on Fridays. It is, of course, a Friday tuning, so we tune around. Like 2 weeks ago, we had the pretty cool tuning with my nephew. It was kind of a change of pace. And in 2 weeks, we'll also have another change of pace, as I will be tonight. I'm going to tune with my ICOM, but next time in 2 weeks, I'll be tuning with the SDR, the Soft 66. So it's going to make a different, and probably we'll do kind of a revolving schedule. We'll have different ways of tuning. Another one that I want to do is just tuning with portable receivers. And so by doing a revolving schedule of different types of tuning, I think it's going to also help in reflecting, all the tuning opportunities that everybody have while they're tuning the shortwave bands. So my name is Jill. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Hope everybody's doing fine. Here it's a cold Montreal. -7 right now, -8 Celsius right now, about it's around 10 Fahrenheit, something like that, 10 to 15 Fahrenheit. And tonight's going to go down to -20, so it's going to be below 0 Fahrenheit. We had some really warm weather, and now we're back into the winter full time. But it's supposed to come back warm again next week. So, hey, everybody in the chat room. Nice to have you on board. And hello, PLF. Nice to have you here. SG2 is Nebraska, 47 Fahrenheit, very sunny. Yeah, pretty sunny here, too. So that's at least the good part in the cold weather. Hey there, Bobby Burgess. We'll be getting the Texan PL 380 tomorrow. Cool, that's going to be fun. And Bobby, if you missed the beginning, I did look into using the Soft 66 today. I was not quite set up properly for that, but I promise you, in 2 weeks, next tuning the bands, it's going to be the Soft 66 for tuning around. So that's going to be cool. Also, we have soon to do videos. I've got thanks to the generosity of one of our viewers, I've got a AFEDRI. AFEDRI, I don't know how you pronounce it exactly, SDR receiver that I will be hooking up. I did use it in USB mode and it worked well. I'm trying to find out how to set it up on my network. I got a really complex network, so when I set it up as a network device to try to access, it can't find it. So I'm trying to find how I can have it working in my very complex setup here. And but on the USB side it does work, and it's pretty cool. So videos coming up, review and everything for those that wonder what that is. It's a more expensive SDR, and it seems to do an amazing job. I was tuning around with it the other day, and wow, you could see that it's a real notch over improvement over the Soft 66 for sure. Hey, Bobby Burgess, nice to have you here. Chris D, hello there. Even McRoberts, hello there. Scotty Tier 6 in sunny Toronto with -12 tonight. Jerry, thanks for sending me all the different ham stations. I tried a few of them. I heard Slovenia. I did not hear the Australian you sent me on 24933. By the way, I'm tuned on channel 6. There's some activity on 27025, so that means propagation maximum usable frequency is quite high right now. And so Jerry says Bahamas is on 18128. We'll be tuning around and seeing all of that. MDK2, hello there, 60 Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius around where he is. That's cool. FO Welsh, hello there. Nice to have you on board from Ottawa, Ontario. A Griffin from Ireland, hello there. iMapper from Moscow, always nice to have you here. Hamet Zizgin Duran, hello there from Ankara, Turkey. Really cool turnout, really cool to see people from around the world. Vanui Deoto, which is PA0020 SWL in the Netherlands. Hello there. Nice to have you here. Movie Man 44. And pretty nice to have you on board. He's thinking of getting a Whistler WS 1025 base scanner. So why not? You know, it's another radio, and it's pretty cool. Hey, hello there, Jerry, Ethan Best. Welcome aboard. And it's really cool to have everybody here. DX, hello there. Really nice to have you here too. So I hope everybody has some fun. I'm going to tune around tonight and see what we can receive. Apart from that, it's kind of funny because, as you guys know, I dropped the wideband listening or wideband live show, and it feels really weird. But at the same time, I gotta say, guys, it actually helps me get like more energy. As you know, I have other shows that I'm doing, and the weeks that I have the shows, the radio shows, it's a lot of shows. You know, I'm adding a new one probably starting this week also, which will be, you guys have been asking for the retro gaming. Well, we did one last night. It was totally unannounced. I did it in the last minute, and we had a lot of fun. We showed some Amiga 500 stuff, and it's probably going to become a regular feature on Thursdays. So Thursdays I have From the Couch show at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UT with my nephew. Probably starting this next Thursday, if everything goes well, we'll have also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That's a little later, especially for you guys in Europe. It's quite late because it's 01:30 UT. But it's going to be 0:30 UT and soon. But it's 01:30 UT, and we plug a old console or whatever device, and we play a few games and comment. And also, I was given a good old Atari 2600 console. All I need is a power supply and game cartridges to have it working. So that should be set up soon. So we'll be playing a few Atari 2600 games also. I think it's going to be fun. So really, really nice stuff. And of course, since I add that, now that means that I have 6 shows in the weeks that I do the radio shows, which is a lot of shows to do. It takes a lot of time. So it's fun. It's okay to have the break in between because it helps me get more energy. But I gotta say, I do find that 2 weeks between radio shows is a little long. So, and I did have a few comments about people saying, hey, it's a little, it's kind of fun when you're there every week. So I will be checking out maybe changing one of the 2 shows. So like tuning the bands, for example, might be in between. So like that, we have 1 week of tuning the bands and 1 week of the shortwave show, so that every week there's something on the radio stuff, because I do find that it's a little long in the tooth before shows. So okay, Amit. Ahmed Zegin Duran. I hope I get it right. I'm really sorry. Man, it's like my name, my family name is Le Tourneau. So, when you don't know a French name like that, everybody messes up the name. I got to say that. So, oh, really, Jerry? Wow. 100 plus games? Want to sell me a few of those cartridges? I'd like to have some games. I was looking on eBay. They're not very expensive though, I gotta say, but it's pretty cool. And hey, Vault. So Vault says I would not say no to show during the week. So I think I'm gonna, I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. But we're gonna do something. I think it'd be nice to have a radio one every week. So I think we'll be maybe alternating. So I'll put this one in the Fridays where I don't have a show on a Saturday or something like that. So we'll be looking at that because I did get a few comments, people saying, hey, I like your shows. It's fun to follow you, but it's fun to have every week. And yeah, that also vaults. The Saturday one is not too bad if I do it once every 2 weeks. It's almost impossible for me to do it every Saturday because someone's going to be mad at me for doing that, and I don't want to interfere too much. I revolve my schedule so that my significant other doesn't mind my schedule of shows, so it doesn't interfere at all. And basically, I'm trying to interfere less, the minimum amount, because it's already a little complex. So anyways, we'll see what we can do and how we can rearrange the schedule. I know this Saturday one is nice because there's a lot of people that are actually really that don't work on Saturdays, and it's easier for them to have that to watch that show. I can tell you that. So yeah, MDK2. There's a lot of stuff. I'm hearing channel 6 27025 with stuff. So there's a lot of activity in the upper bands also. Pretty nice. Hey, Richard Cook, Rick 555. Nice to have you on board. Says that it's not getting very much after 25 meters on PL 310. Yeah, I do love Duran, so it helps me pronounce the last name. MDK2 says, I hate to say it, but I got to know the name Little No and how to pronounce it thanks to Mary Kay Little No. I was living in Seattle when she made herself notorious. That does help. Hey, Danny, Shortwave Radio DX. And really happy to do the shout out. I'm going through other channels. I haven't finished. I got tons and tons of other YouTube channels for radio stuff that I will be talking about on my own radio channel. I think, you know what? I thought that the real people that do really need a little push and have fine content, I'm happy to talk about that. And the hell with all the other ones. And so, it's pretty nice. I did one for Scotty Tier 6 page also. I hope that it was satisfactory and pretty nice. And really, really nice. Jerry's got a guy from Australia on 7147 lower sideband. Pretty cool. So, it's fun. I find that it's cool to do a shout out to other channels. PLF says the solar flux is 79, ANX 32, K4 is a little problematic. Let's hope it doesn't rise more than that, and so that it doesn't interfere with our radio listening tonight. And tomorrow, just to let everybody know, we also got a shortwave show. Tomorrow we're going to we're going to really go back into pirate activity, and actually we'll take a look at the logs of the last month, what shortwave pirate was active in the last month or two, so we have an idea of all the shortwave pirates around. So I think it's going to be fun, and it's pretty cool. Katrina Marie, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. And so we're talking about shortwave radio. Oh, that's cool, Scotty Tier 6. Really nice to see that you got 30 new subscribers. Now, that's a nice boost. I got to tell you one thing. And that's pretty cool. And, that's also something that I was thinking about is why not also make a tour of the other shortwave channels and use, my shortwave channel is an okay channel. It's not the most popular channel on the web. Of course, there's so many more. But it has enough followers and viewers that if I can help boost a little more others' channels, why not? I think it's a great way of also helping everybody in the community, and want it or not, getting a boost of 30 subscribers kind of gives you a boost also. And well, I think I'm going to make more radio videos. That's also one of the reasons why I did this, and I am continuing to do this. Of course, if I haven't reviewed your channel yet, let me know. I'll be happy to talk about your channel, as long as the majority, it doesn't have to be everything, but as long as the majority of your videos are radio related, I am happy to talk about it. And it's cool to see all the different channels and all the different ways that everybody brings the radio aspect to their own channel. My side is a lot of vlogs, but I try to do a lot of newbie videos, because we've all been there. We've all been with our shortwave radio for the first time ever and didn't know what we were doing. So if I can help and bringing everybody in the hobby a little faster, and I think it's pretty cool also in the live shows that I do. We had Sheldon Harvey from the Canadian International DX Club last time, and he was happy to get some new subscribers to the Canadian International DX Club's messenger. And it's pretty cool, and it's gonna be fun. It could be a Facebook radio page. Yeah, no problem with that. If somebody's got a Facebook radio page also, and yes, I would need also personally to do, I think that maybe that's what I should actually sit down and wait. Basically do a Facebook page for radio. And I think it could be fun. So anybody doing some radio stuff and you want me to talk about your channel, I will be happy. And I want to give back. It's not just take. I don't like that type of working. I want to give back part of it also. And if I can give it back by getting you guys more subscribers, more views, why not? It helps us all at the end. And we're all radio listeners. Unfortunately, some decide to attack other channels instead of being more fair play, probably because they're really jealous of the popularity of others. Well, you know what, I'm giving back to who should have more importance. And the hell, let's forget the other ones. Let's forget the ones that are too negative and that are just, wasting our time, basically. MDQ2 says, it's nice how that happens. Someone sharing a couple of my videos leads to more subs too. And since you mentioned it, my channel is nothing but radio stuff. Cool, MDK2. You know what? We need to do a video and talk about that. Danny Shortwave Radio DX says got around 30 also, went over plus 100 sub mark and got my custom URL. That's cool. That's cool. There's a few of you, by the way, and I just want to mention it. There's a few of you that are past the minimum required for a custom URL for your channel, and you really should take the time to do it. It's very important because it does make it much more easy. When you have the possibility to get your own little URL personalized for YouTube, it's easier because, instead of having these weird strings of characters every time, and it's kind of difficult to find your channel, you can, really clearly say, oh, I've got youtube.com/this. So, mine is youtube.com/official SWL channel. It's easier than the weird string of characters, for sure. So that's pretty cool. The threshold for the custom URL, I don't know. Here, I know, I believe it's 500 subs now. I'm not sure. Danny Shortwave, is it just 100? Because here, I don't know if it's different in different countries, maybe. Here in Canada, it's 500. Below 500, it's impossible to get a custom URL. So maybe it's different country to country. But, if we can get you up there to get your custom URL, that's pretty cool. And I just took note of it, MDK2. It'll be the next one that I will be talking about and trying to help you and boost a little more. And I think, let's help each other as radio friends instead of battling out and having idiots trying to put negative sides to it. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hello there, Jill Gulick. Hope I pronounce it well. And yes, Katrina Marie, positive radio does rock. We got to be positive in our hobby, and we got to be positive with each other. There's enough fighting in the world without having to deal with, stupid idiots. Hey, John Ritson. Hello there. Good evening. Nice to have you on board. Okay, 100. I thought it was 5, so I don't know if it's different from country to country. But if it's 100, it's even better. It's gone. Gone are the days where where you just did it immediately. So no, I don't have a digital addiction page related to Radio PLF. We need to check it out. That's for sure. And I think it's pretty. Yeah, that's it. Well, you know what, Scotty? If you've had your channel before, because any channel that's older than about a year and a half, 2 years, maybe a year even, already have their custom URL. So when I started on YouTube, every time you take a channel, you already had your custom URL, even with 0 subscribers. And they changed the rules, and I think it's okay because obviously some trolls would take the most popular names for YouTube, and they weren't available anymore. So you have your own URL, Scotty Tier 6, as I see here, because it says youtube.com/user/the Scotty Tier 6. So you've got your custom URL already, Scotty. You're from the time period where you had it automatically every time you had a new channel. Hey there, Richard in Atlanta, Georgia. Nice to have you on board. Can you hear the HFDL data burst on 8912? Let's check it out. 8912. Let's check. We'll see if I hear anything, but right now it seems to be... Oh, maybe I did hear a little something. So, pretty cool. And, oh yeah, I hear them. I just heard one, Richard. So, yep, they're making it here. And can you decode that with some software, something? Jerry says it's loud there. Katrina Marie, where I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, northeast part of North America. And we try to do our best to entertain and have fun with radio. So, anyone that wants to have their channel mentioned, please don't hesitate. I'm here for that. And hey, if I can get you 30, 40 subscribers more, why not? It's kind of cool, and it's fun to help each other. So we'll tune. Sorry, guys, I just got hiccups. We'll tune around the shortwave bands. This is UTC time, so if you're wondering what time it is here, well, not here, but UTC. Here local, it's 3:24 right now. And by the way, in 2 weeks, we're going to change the time of our shows. Because March 12th, North America, we are changing our times. We are actually putting our clocks ahead 1 hour. So next show will be after March 12th. And that means that all the shows are going to move They're going to stay at the same UTC time, 2000 hours, but for the local time, it's changing 1 hour. So here in the East Coast, it's going to be 4 p.m. instead of 3 p.m. For sure. So what else do we have? John Ritson, sorry you has a question, but no, you need, it's perfect. We are here for that. And, oh, cool, Jerry. Thanks for sharing. Sorry to ask questions, but I am about to buy a desktop receiver, FRG 8800 or Drake R8E. I have been offered both at really good prices. I would definitely go with the Drake receiver. I do think the Drake receiver is much better. So that would be my choice if you have only one. And if you've got the money, buy both. But if you don't have the money for both or don't want to, the Drake R8E, I think, is the better choice in here. All Drake receivers are actually very, very good. Hey, Captain Ron. Nice to have you here. Bonsoir, Monsieur Nirudin Mazari. Bienvenue. Welcome to the show. Always nice to have everybody here. And, Bobby, it doesn't affect UTC per se because UTC always stays the same. But because we move our clocks ahead, our reference to UTC changes. So, for example, UTC, 2000 hours UTC is always the same thing. It's just that as we're moving into daylight savings time, instead of being 3 p.m. here to get 2000 UTC, it's now 4 p.m. because it's 4 hours difference instead of 5 now when we change for daylight savings times here. It's always a little mix-up for people that are new to shortwave when we do that transition. But if you instead of looking at your local clock, always mind yourself for UTC. You're never lost because UTC is always the same. As long as you know what UTC time is compared to your time zone, everything is all right. So, yeah, I did think about that, by the way, Jerry. Jerry says I should have some shows start at 1 p.m. I had thought of doing some early show. Even earlier, something like, 11 a.m. or something like that. Because I think that could be interesting to see the different crowd that you get from having a show at a different time. And that is something that I did think about a lot. So, basically. Richard says, had no or poor internet for the last 2 weeks. Yeah, that's sad for you. So, yeah, Drake is the best. That I would take the Drake definitely for the radio. Man. Yeah, John. I can feel you. Money's short. Katrina Marie, do we talk about weather, earthquakes, or volcanoes in my area? Weather, it's really cold. Right now, it's minus 8 Celsius. So that's what, about 15, 20 Fahrenheit. We're going down to minus 21 tonight. That's minus 5 Fahrenheit or something like that. And so it's really cold winter right now. Volcanoes, there's no volcanoes in here at all. There might be volcanoes on the west coast, I believe, but not here. I don't think there's any volcanoes in. There could be volcanoes in the probably somewhere on the west coast. I don't know. I've never, we know of Mount St. Helens on the west coast of the United States. So up in the upper part, maybe could be something, but here in the east part, there's nothing like that. Earthquakes here we have it's so rare that we have earthquakes that every time there's something that we can feel, it's probably the talk of the day. Did you feel that earthquake yesterday? And last time we had an earthquake that we felt here, 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. I can tell you that. So that's pretty much what's happening. I was receiving WWV on 15 megahertz a little earlier with. We are at. And could hear the Hawaii WWV in 15 megahertz. If I watch this, I don't know who owned Realistic Radios, but I have also since seen them branded as Allied. Gilles, do you have any experience with Realistic/Allied receivers? I've owned several Realistic receivers in the past. I have one, a DX100 right now, and which is my first shortwave radio, but I've had the Realistic DX302 also in the past. They're okay radios in general, but none of them are really fantastic receivers, but they're cool for the old radios that they are. You know, that's pretty cool for that. So, yeah, I should check that out, Jerry, the Android app for active volcanoes around the world. So, oh, really, Ethan Best? Didn't check that out. Let's check out 93, 95. Can you get it right now? True News has been off. Yeah, really some music. Only some music right now. So I guess True News decided to stop their programs on shortwave or something. That's kind of interesting. And yeah, you know, it depends what you want, Jerry. You know, you're looking at the ICOM 7300. We have to remember one thing is that the R8600 is a way different receiver. If you want to have shortwave only, it's a cheaper option and a good option to get the ICOM 7300, and it's a transceiver at the same time. But if you want a wideband radio, of course, the R8600 is a wideband receiver. It goes all the way up to, what, 2 or 3 gigahertz. So it's not the same radio, but it seems to be a little expensive, maybe. John Richardson says, well, out for the Drake. When I was looking for a shortwave receiver, I found none that I wanted. And then when I was not looking, they come all at once. Yeah, very often it's like that. Or, you know, it's when you don't have the money to buy them that you have them in your face. The strongest earthquake, by the way, here, MDK2 is talking about a 6.8 magnitude earthquake in Seattle in 2001. The strongest earthquake we've ever had here in my lifetime was a 6.2 that happened in the Saguenay area near Chicoutimi. That's like a few hundred kilometers north of Montreal. And that one created some damage in that area and in the Quebec City area. But it's an extremely rare event here that we have these earthquakes as strong as that. Here the earthquakes we have is because the Canadian shield, the rock underneath is still pushing up from the last ice age. So for example, the city of Montreal is about 10 centimeters higher every year because many years ago there was like kilometers of ice that pushed down on Canada. So now the rock underneath pushes back up because it doesn't have all the weight of the ice. So Montreal moves up about, you know, the most of the Quebec territory and a big part of Canada is like moving up from 5 to 15 centimeters a year because of that. And here in the east, the earthquakes we have are created by that. It's because of the movement of that rock moving up. Sometimes there'll be a little bit of tension. So we'll have some small earthquakes, but rarely something really big. But I did see a documentary about past earthquakes in my Montreal area here, and they were looking at the Indians, the First Nations here, and they have some notes or some stories that come from very long time ago, and a lot of people all are actually talking about that maybe in something like the 1500s 1600s. There could have been something close to a magnitude 7.8 here in Montreal by looking at, how the First Nations back then described how the ground moved and how everything, what was happening. So it means it could be, I guess we could maybe have a really big one, or a bigger one than we had in the past, but they are very, very rare here. It doesn't happen very often. It's not something that happens regularly here. So Penny Shortwave says, recently stumbled on a software mod for the RTL SDR USB dongle for use with medium wave shortwave. Tried it last night and it worked well without the hardware jumper, wire mod, and no up converter. Oh, that's interesting, Danny. Seems interesting. Oh, that's possible, MDK2, that True News, it's a wonder what pushes a service like that to use shortwave. Or maybe it was an experiment. Maybe they said, hey, we'll try it out. I did not listen to that because it's something that I don't really, it's True News was not something that I follow, but, Scotty Tier 6 says, Radio World has my deposit. I'm expecting the R8600 to arrive around the end of this month. Woohoo! Lucky you, man. That's going to be cool. I think you're going to have fun with that. Jerry says, Jill, there's a fault line that runs down from the Gulf of Mexico of the Mississippi through the Great Lakes and all the way up to St. Lawrence. Forget the name of the fault line. Yeah, I know there's a fault line that does go through this, basically follow the St. Lawrence, but it is rarely the one that causes, it's mostly here the one, when there are earthquakes very close to Montreal, that will be the fault line through the St. Lawrence that will do it. But it almost always gives very, very small earthquakes. It rarely gives anything big. And actually, the 6.2 earthquake in Chicoutimi kind of surprised everybody. Nobody ever thought that there could be such a strong earthquake in that region of Quebec. Pretty amazing when you think about it. So take care, Katrina Marie. What else do we have here? Stitch says, was getting dance music on shortwave. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jerry, that I did get the email. I look at your email all the time. Don't worry about it. I sometimes I don't have a lot of time, so I just keep them, but I do look at them. So hey, how about tuning a bit the radio and seeing what we can receive? I think it's pretty interesting, and we'll check it out. So oh yeah, it's software I recommend. Okay, cool, Richard. New York Center 99.6. Richard says, Jill, have heard Canadian Coast Guard from Halifax on 2749 in the evening. They both transmit in both French and English. Yes, I do receive 2749. It's a regular here. Every night, if I listen to 2749, and there's also 2598, I get the different French and English bulletins, Canadian Coast Guard bulletins. Really well. Dicky Ball says, I have an AOR wideband base scanner. I use an AOR loop antenna for shortwave. What would you recommend for 25 to 1300 megahertz? Is there any antenna I could use indoors, or would I definitely have to put one outside? Regards from the UK. Hey, nice to have you here. I would say that it's really better to have an antenna outside, especially in the higher frequencies. The higher you go in frequency, the more the walls in your home absorb signals. Personally, I would get a discount. Discounts are really good in the 25 to 1300 megahertz spectrum. and they would work great. Of course, the discount is better outdoors because it's a little big for the indoors. I've also seen if you want something indoors because it's very complicated, you can check out. There are some, like I have here, mobile verticals that are 25 to or 30 to 1300 megahertz, and that work quite well actually. I'm surprised at how well mine works. And Scotty Tier 6 says got a discount in his attic. Works quite well when and is protected from the weather. That's a good thing. I had a discount in mine, man. It was there for I don't know how long, and basically, it's when I tried to remove it, it just it just broke down. So John Ritson, when are you subbing today or tonight? I actually I got a case of the Unibrew beers, which has all sorts of different beers in it. So it's got Fin du Monde like I usually have, but it's got blueberry beer. It's got some Blanche de Chambly. It's got some Don de Dieu, which is gift from God. It has Maudite, which is the cursed beer. It has a new one called Terrible, or Terrible, and it's a 10.5% beer. Pretty amazing. So I got that case of 12 because I wanted to buy a case of 6. But the case of 6 was $14.99, and I looked next to it, and the case of 12 was $14.99. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to take 12 instead of 6. So, and because when I do my From the Couch show with my nephew, we also drink beer, I thought, well, I'll have beer with my nephew, and I'll have the beer for today. So, hey, XNADXer. Hello there, Keegan from Northwest Arkansas. Nice to have you on board. Pretty cool to have everybody here. What else? Bobby Beretta, nice to have you here. And pretty cool. Really nice. Yeah, it's a local brewery. Actually, the brewery that makes these beer, they've been bought by Sleeman. But that brewery comes from Robert Charlebois, which is a Quebec artist, a very, very well-known artist for French Quebec audience, or French, I would say French Canada. Probably a lot of people from that are French Canadian know Robert Charlebois. He's a well-known artist, and he's a beer fan, and he had started his own brewery many years ago. So these beers come out of his brewery, but they were bought by Sleeman, but they kept the same quality. When they got bought, we were scared of losing the quality of the beer, but no, Sleeman kept same quality. Yeah, I did hear 12160 Bobby Burgess today, actually, and it's there right now.
To be able to come together with both of these parties and offer what many say is Obama light.
So maybe it's skipping over you with the changing propagation as we get to longer days. It might be skipping over you also, Bobby. So really nice. Even McRoberts says, I currently have my wire FM shortwave antenna wrapped around a 1 foot long center loaded antenna that is sitting in the window still of the room I'm in. So it works well. Is it? Do you have some nice? Reception with that? That's all. Counting the noise. If you don't have too much noise, that could be very, very surprising. So hey, let's start tuning down from say 25 megahertz, and we'll see if the 12 meter M band is open, and start tuning around a little bit. We're here for that, and of course, anybody that has anything, we will be, of course, answering questions. So don't hesitate to ask. So let's check out what do we have here in the. Got a lot of interference. Radio Africa 21. 675. Very weak though. This is from WRMI in Florida. It's not very strong, but it's there. Hey, Cool AM Radio, nice to have you on board. And by the way, I got your message, but you send the first message to the Yahoo email that I almost never look at, except really quickly, so I missed it. So if you want to just resend it to official shortwaveradio@gmail.com, that's the best place for everything. And I always see that's what's there. Yeah, Bobby. But, don't worry about that. Doesn't mean anything that, because 12160 is a higher frequency, and it can easily, skip over you. That means that the signal, shortwave signals are propagating from the ionosphere. So they easily can skip or just go over your head so you don't hear them. So don't worry. That's shortwave for you. Some stations will come in, and also depending on the time of year, some stations will come in better at certain time of year than others. So it's possible that and you'll see maybe your PL380 will get it better, Bobby. That's going to be interesting. And let me know when you get it. I think it's going to be fun to know what you think. Okay, cool AM, and I'll see what I can do to do those voiceovers with. It's like Bobby. There are many stations. I sometimes call some stations my summer stations and my winter stations, because some stations I hear well in the winter, and some stations I hear well in the summer. But it's not all year round. Some stations, and depending on where they are, it's not always easy to hear them or listen to them. So that's shortwave for you. You see, that Scotty TR6 got nothing on Toronto on 12160, and I got it really strong here. So it just shows you how a few hundred kilometers makes a huge difference in listening to shortwave signals. So let's continue tuning around here, and we'll see if we hear anything special. By the way, I had a lot of fun last week listening to Greenland, OX5 something. I don't remember its exact call, but Greenland was just so cool to receive. Man, I had a lot of fun. Not a lot of stuff on 15 meters. Let's check out the time signal on 20 megahertz. Nothing there. So let's jump directly to 17 meter band, 18.168 and down, and see if the 17 meter band is open for amateur radio. Really not much happening there. Okay, let's check out the international broadcast band. Yeah, it's not the fact that it's that far away, Valt's Greenland. It's mostly the fact that there are just so few stations there that it's exceptional to hear Greenland. Mostly because there's not a lot of hams. Because I did look at the map, and it was like, if I'm not trying to remember, something like 2,600 kilometers away or something the station was. So it's closer than many other signals that I hear. But the fact that it's a country where there's really not a lot of amateur radio operators, you don't really hear them very often, because it is true. A station from Europe is farther away, but Greenland was cool.
But I believe all blessings come from the Lord. Is the Lord holy? Or is it on all the efforts of the trade or the business?
So this is African Pathways Radio. It's broadcasted from Madagascar, and it is in English from 20 to 21. I usually hear it better on from 18 to 19, but it's kind of cool to listen to African Pathways Radio from Madagascar, coming from Madagascar World Voice Station. So this is from Madagascar, 17640, African Pathways Radio.
Good heart, glory of God brings great and great blessings. And as business people, we really need to use our businesses as tools or instruments for evangelism, and that heaven may see Christ through us.
Well, I know that you already mentioned that you are a Ghanaian. You put business in Togo. You put one in Senegal. Are there any other countries in Africa where you have shown interest or that your business has gone?
Yes, the Lord has led us to Gambia, He's led us to Equatorial Guinea, and presently we are in Mauritania. And I believe it's not me going. The Lord sends us where He will. And He knows how to send me wherever He wants, even against my will. He knows how to move us along. And that's what we do.
That's a marvelous story. Thank you for joining us today. Next time on Making a Difference in Africa, we will conclude our interview by describing the partnership between our businessman and his local church. Please join us for that broadcast.
African Pathways, you know what? I've been listening to their station a little bit, and I got to say one thing is the diverse programming and music they have is interesting, though. I'm not much into Jesus stations in general, but there's kind of a broadcasting about that's kind of interesting, and it's cool. It's cool. And what else do we have here? Hi, Mapper says, what about non-directional broadcast, non-directional buoys transmission on long-wave frequency? There must be a lot near your location. There's only that, almost. So if you want to have an idea of non-directional beacons, if I just go to 248 kilohertz long-wave, there's the non-directional beacon from the local airport right here in Montreal. It's a tone with Morse code. This is YUL. It's the non-directional beacon that's right here, located right here in the airport about, maybe 25 kilometers away. So even a little more. So pretty cool. So, MDK2 says, in a week or so, I'm going to Fort Collins with my sister, bringing along portable to see what WWV sounds like when you're that close to transmitters. Oh, yeah, that's cool. And you have some time. I believe if you go to Fort Collins, you can actually have a tour of the facility if you call them up. You should check that out if you have the time. But if you don't have the time, Man, definitely. I would do the same. I'd bring a radio just to hear what it looks like, for sure. So, really, really nice. Mustafa Labib, hello there. Nice to have you, and thank you for being here. There would be no live shows if there would be nobody watching, so it's really, really cool to have everybody here. Hum on 15370. Let's check that out. Oh yeah, there's a kind of a loud 60 hertz hum. I don't hear it very strong, but there is a 60 hertz hum, a strong hum in our Radio Havana Cuba transmitter. So that's pretty cool. And yes, 15140 is Radio Havana Cuba also. Yeah, beacons, the non-directional beacons for airplanes. So that's pretty cool. Let's try it on 15140 for Radio Havana Cuba. Yeah, there's a slide, but the signal is pretty good. This is Radio Havana Cuba in English right now. So it does have a buzzing in it, but it's not too bad. But I got to say one thing. The Radio Havana Cuba transmitters lately have not been very good. I've had a lot of difficulty. 6,000 kilohertz was rather bad. So Richard in Atlanta says 17640 S7. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's the thing also, Vaults. Is there any broadcasting over there even? And that's true. So, you know, I think the only hams that get there are the ones that come from Denmark or other countries and that are there for just a certain amount of time. Probably. And so 15140 is Radio Havana Cuba. And pretty cool. Hey, creepy past caller says 12160 InfoWars. Yep, they've been pretty much. Anyone here 5150 AM at the moment? Let's try it out. 5150. Not a peep at all of the signal, so I would guess they are not on the air right now on 5150. HM01 11635. Let's see if the Cuban lady. Oh yeah, it's very strong tonight. This is a number station from Cuba. 11635 kilohertz. HM01. It seems to be stuck. Cuba is having a lot of problems. It's stuck on the beginning of that digital thing. I think they are having some problem. Can tell you that. Ah, here it starts. AF417H. Nice to have you. Montreal, Quebec, Canada here. So nice to have you on board. So Cuban number station 11635 kilohertz. Being received with a pretty good signal right now. For those that have never heard the number station. So Cuban number station. Danny Shortwave Radio DX says 11635 is strong. So John Risson, just curious as to why CRI transmit with such a wide bandwidth, as the other night it was 20 kilohertz wide on my SDR. Yeah, CRI does have a wide bandwidth most of the time, and you know what? I have the impression that they decided to do that to try to really have the clearest signal possible, and you know, they just don't care about the fact that they could be interfering with other signals. They just are happy to have a great signal, and that's what's happening. Joel Gulick says 11635 is booming in North Carolina. So, but it is amazing. I gotta say, many of their frequencies are with as wide as 20 kilohertz, and it's pretty amazing that they use that. But they do sound great. It's just that when you're, the other day, an example of that, about a month and a half ago, I was trying to listen to Voice of Indonesia on 9525 from a Europe transmitter, but CRI was really close and totally washed out 9525 because of its 20 kilohertz signal. So Richard Atlantis says 11635 S9. She's been at it too long. Yeah. SG2 East Nebraska 11635 S9 booming in. It's pretty good tonight. I usually have it a little weaker than that, but pretty nice. Pretty nice. So sorry, I've got some Visit DX. The cat is here on my lap and wants some attention. You are watching. We've been on for an hour now. You are watching the Shortwave Tuning the Bands from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This is live on YouTube Live. We are here every 2 weeks, Fridays, 2000 hours Universal Time, and that's 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's always cool to have everybody on board as we tune around the bands and just have some radio fun, basically. Nothing complicated, just having some radio fun. And a hobby that's usually a very lonely hobby. It's kind of cool to have everybody here. So F417 is in Alberta. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let's go back up to 17.64 and tune down and see what we can hear on the different frequencies.
5 to 50 knots. Speed 10 to 21 feet. Elsewhere within 360 nautical miles northwest, 514 nautical miles southeast, and 814 nautical miles southwest quadrant of first center winds 25 to 35 knots. Speed 9 to 18 feet. Also within 1114 nautical miles south semicircle of first center winds to 25 knots. Speed 8 to 14.
Well, next to the rabbit, SG2 is it's kind of a researcher on a big bike. That is a gift from my other sister. She taught it me because I always am curious about everything. So he's got a little glass here that he's looking everywhere. So got a little gift here from my two sisters. So that's why I keep them here. They have a special meaning for me.
Line 25.
So 17362 WLO Maritime Station in Mobile, Alabama. And that's a maritime weather station. 17362 upper sideband.
1114 nautical miles southeast and 718 nautical miles southwest quadrant of second central wind to 25 knots. Speed 8 to 18 feet. 48-hour forecast low 47 126 west, 996 millibars. Within 118 nautical miles northwest and 514 nautical miles southwest.
Creepy past caller, the International Space Station is on VHF only. You cannot listen to it through shortwave. Hello there, William Helms. Nice to have you on board from Florida. Scotty Tier 6, 11775 and 6090, which are Caribbean Beacon, are distorted. They've been distorted for a long, long time. Really for a long time.
Storm warning. Flow 37 north west, 984 millibars lifting east. Within 514 nautical miles west, semicircle lines 14 to 55 knots. Speed 14 to 29 feet. Elsewhere within 720 nautical miles northwest. 1,018 nautical miles northeast. 960 nautical miles southeast and 600 nautical miles southwest quadrant lines 25 to 40 knots. Seas 11 to 22 feet. Also within 100 nautical miles north semicircle and 720 nautical miles southwest quadrant 20 to 25.
SG2 East Nebraska says 17362. There's nothing there. We have Danny Shortwave, Radio DX says it's good where he is. Hello there, Dean B1709. Good evening. Nice to have you on board as we're tuning around these shortwave bands. And it's pretty cool to have everybody. And oh, really? I did not know. So are they off the air? They were off the air for a while. Looks like they got 711. Okay. So Radio Nacional Amazonas, Brasilia, 6180 and 11780 had a fire at the transmitter that powers the transformer that powers the transmitters. So they were off the air for a while, but now it seems that they're back on 11780. We're gonna check that out, but I haven't seen them on 610 yet. As long as they come back, you know, I would hate to lose them. I don't understand Portuguese, but one thing is they got some really great Brazilian music, and it's kind of nice to have, you know, a Brazilian station on the air.
Millibars. Within 720 nautical miles west semicircle and 502 nautical miles northeast and 1,114 nautical miles southeast quadrant lines 25 to 40 knots. Seas 10 to 22 feet. Elsewhere within 900 nautical miles northwest, 720 nautical miles northeast, 1,560 nautical miles southeast, and 1,020 nautical miles south.
PLF 17362 upper sideband is a maritime weather station. So they're giving out pretty much the weather and the different storms and what's happening mostly for the Caribbean region. This is a maritime station in Mobile, Alabama, United States. And they are mostly giving out stuff, weather, maritime weather for the Gulf of Mexico, for example. So that's mostly what you hear here, is giving out weather broadcasts for boats.
Nautical miles southwest quadrant lines 25 to 35 knots. Seas 10 to 18 feet. Also from 50 north to 61 north west at 165 west lines to 25 knots. Seas 8 to 16 feet.
Thank you, Dean. Nice to, it's a good old ICOM ICR 8500. Really love it. Great little great receiver.
At 167 west, lines 25 to 40 knots.
So as we tune around, we will, until we find another signal, I'll be continuing my little chit-chat. So it's nice to be tuning around. Propagation doesn't seem too bad, so I'm being curious to see the next indices in a few minutes, if they've improved or not. Scotty Tier 6 says that 31 meter band really jumping, lots of strong signals. It's pretty cool. WWCR on 15825, not very strong here. WRMI on 15770, not too bad. And Dean says used to have a Kenwood Art 2000 and 5000, thinking of steering up the hobby again. Yeah, sure, why not? It's different, but it's still fun. It's still a great hobby. And before I had this R8500, I had a Kenwood R5000. I owned a Kenwood R5000 from 1990 all the way up to about 2010, when it pretty much gave out. So WEWN's not very strong, 15610. Also. Okay, PLF says S Solar Flux 72, 826, K Index 2. So K Index got better. Too sad the Solar Flux got down. We need a big sunspot that makes the Solar Flux go above 100. That would be cool. Voice of America, not very strong, but they're on 15580. And at this time, they are broadcasting from Greenville, North Carolina. So that's why it's not super strong here. It was stronger this afternoon when they were broadcasting the Botswana relay. $15,555 is WJHR in Milton, Florida. Got a little interference, but WJHR in Milton, Florida, upper sideband 15555. So yeah, religious stuff on 15770. Oh, it is a great receiver. I love my 8500. I gotta say that all-around performance for both shortwave and VHF, UHF is amazing. So, you know, pretty cool. Richard Cook's receiving All India Radio 9445, but not receiving or in Greece on 9420. Let's check them out. 9445. Pretty good signal from All India Radio, not as strong as I could see. Let's try 11670. Nope, 9445 All India Radio with their very specific and unusual Indian music. SG2 East Nebraska says 15580 is really good. S8 where he is. You know, you're farther away from Greenville than me, so maybe I'm a little too close to Greenville, and it's not helping out for me. So All India Radio 9445 with their music, and let's check Greece. Greece coming in okay also. Greece is quite strong, 9420 also. So can you hear 15500? That must be, yeah, that's Radio Exterior de España, Richard, in Spanish. So this is Spain, 15500. So this is Radio Exterior de España on 15500. PLF says he can hear 9445 very clear in France. 15500 is one of those great frequencies. I can bet that 9690 is also there.
El ministro de Educación.
So look at that. This is a great signal from Spain. 9690, Radio Exterior de España.
El ministro ha escuchado un informe del ministro de Fomento sobre la situación, sobre el decreto ley de la estiba y la situación. Nos ha hecho partícipes de la carta que le ha remitido la comisaria Violeta Bulc, que es la comisaria de Transportes europea. En esa carta, la Comisión Europea ha hecho un análisis del Real Decreto Ley que fue aprobado por el Gobierno el 24 de febrero y dice la comisaria que este Decreto Ley asegura el cumplimiento pleno de la sentencia, solicita que se convaliden rápidamente por las Cortes, lo cual es especialmente importante, dice la comisaria, a la vista de las multas diarias que corresponden por falta de ejecución de la sentencia. Y la comisaria se compromete en su...
Dean, I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So this is really coming from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, northeast part of North America. And as for the question of Mustafa Labib, BBC, Radio France, Radio Romania, Radio Tirana, Albania, but it's difficult to catch here. Voice of Turkey, basically, if you take a look at, the big part, in large part of Europe. Voice of Greece is there also. There's relays of Slovakia and Czech Republic via WRMI that you can hear. Radio Slovakia and Radio Prague are on the air. Radio Ukraine is possible also. These are stations that you can hear also with a relay, pretty much.
La responsabilidad política de las partes en la negociación colectiva, de los partidos políticos en el Parlamento.
Well, don't be sorry. It's always, when it's the first time you're listening in, you don't know where the people are. But this is where we are at. And we're here every 2 weeks, Fridays and Saturdays with our shortwave shows. So hope you can join us regularly.
Mixta Unión Europea, Comisión de Fomento.
Richard Cook says strong carry on 5183. Let's just check that out. 5.183. Nothing really here. Let's go back to 19 meter band and go down.
El gobierno ha hecho un gran... La comisaria ha dado el visto bueno.
15390, that's also Radio Exterior de España. 15390 kilohertz from Spain.
Decir incluso, oiga, si ustedes lo convalidan, el tema está zanjado y pediremos el archivo del expediente al Tribunal de Justicia. La Comisión Europea no suele hacer esto. Yo creo que ha sido contundente, es una llamada clara. Ahí está. Muchas de las cosas, algunas de las cosas que se piden, simplemente entran en colisión con la sentencia. Pero nosotros insistimos, en este marco de la negociación colectiva entre patronal y sindicatos, creemos que hay margen para un acuerdo. Y si necesitamos más tiempo para ese acuerdo, estamos dispuestos a dar más tiempo para ese acuerdo. Estamos dispuestos a seguir hablando porque creemos que sería incomprensible, creo que es incomprensible para la sociedad española, habiendo hecho un gran...
Oh yeah, there's Deutsche Welle also from Germany that's broadcasting. I almost forgot that one. That's pretty. That's a pretty good one. Radio. So Deutsche Welle from Germany has French and English. It has reduced a lot its broadcasting, but still on the air also.
Esto es muy grave, porque al final podemos llegar a un acuerdo que esté vacío de contenido.
Okay, thanks, Guliam. Take care. Richard Atlanta says 15390 S6 Plus, where he is. PLF could not hear 9690. Maybe you're a little too close. Radio Vancouver, so with some great Cuban music on 15140 coming in right now, so it's not too bad. Radio Havana, Cuba on 15140 kilohertz. No, I haven't heard SS Slowscan TV on pirate stations in a little while. I gotta say. WWV, not very strong. And my clock is pretty close. I think I'm hearing a very, very weak RWM time signal from Moscow on 14996, but not sure. Well, WWCR, not super strong. I hear it much stronger than that usually on this frequency, 13845, WWCR.
That means you did something. Well, being part of the script, but
Not WWV, Danny, 14996 RWM. You probably mean from Moscow, time signal, I would guess.
about this. Why are we told to not do
Here I haven't heard a really good, strong pirate station in quite a few weeks now. Really have not heard many pirate stations lately. I'm really hoping to get some better reception for sure on pirates.
Please let us know that you're listening and where you're listening from. You can do that by sending us an email. Our email address is simply bible@wtww.us. That's BIBLE at WTWW.us. That's BIBLE at WTWW.us. Thank you for listening to the Bible Worldwide. And now back to our presentation in the Portuguese.
Well, that's pretty cool, MDK2. I'll check around 3400. You know what? The pirates are suffering from the bad propagation on the higher frequencies. Even pirates are going down. So, 3400 for the Crystal ship last night. Around 4100 kilohertz, 4100 kilohertz. There was a pirate the other day. It seems, and there's 5150. Pretty amazing. So Well, there's nothing illegal about having some Bible radio on shortwave, some guy. I don't see what rule it will infringe.
E da nuvem saiu uma voz que diz:
That is Voice of America in French from the Vatican State transmitter. Well, you know why the religious stations have good strong signals, Luis? That's because most of them are based in the United States, so they are closer to us. You know, take out all the commercial stations from the United States, and suddenly receiving religious station is a lot more difficult. Most of the signals we get from religious stuff is from WRMI, WWCR, WTWW. So, you know, and basically that's why they are so strong. Yeah, sure, some guy. If you apply for a shortwave broadcast license and it is accepted, I mean, you can broadcast the Bible 24 hours a day if you want. It is something that you will that you can do as long as you have a broadcast license. You know, it's part of what you can do on shortwave.
Cuando hay como esas discordias, que es que usted lo hágale esto o el otro.
WEWM from the United States, 12050 in Spanish.
Influenciar con cuestiones negativas, que era como lo que estaba diciendo también María Mónica ahora.
Oh yeah, sure, some guy. There are some. If you're in the United States, you can apply for a. You know, if you've got the money to do it, you can apply for a shortwave broadcasting license. So KM4W. Pretty cool.
Eso es algo que nosotros no podemos dejar contagiar a nuestros hijos para que ellos no se vuelvan negativos y tengan una calidad de tiempo para que podamos nosotros que nuestros hijos tengan una educación buena.
Así es, hablábamos ahorita de fomentar la conexión entre los educadores, la familia y algo muy importante, fomentar esa conexión.
Okay. FLDG, yeah, I could have tried it. I didn't see it in time. 8471, are they on? 8471 right now. Not even receiving it here, Richard. But I've had a lot of difficulty. The Sitor B mode on WLO on 8471 is very, very difficult to copy, and I don't know why. I've had a lot of problems. You know, I get big chunks of text, and then I get garbage for like 2 minutes, and then come back with text. It's very, very picky, it seems.
I represent
A very distorted Caribbean beacon on 11775 from the island of Anguilla. have HM01, the Cuban number, lady? Still there on 11635?
信从罪恶中救出来。论到约翰，经上预言说：“孩子啊，你要你为至高者的先知，因你要行在主的前面，预备他的道路，叫他的百姓因罪的。”
This is a great signal from Madagascar. This is Madagascar World Voice New Live Station. It is in Mandarin for the Far East. And so this is from Madagascar.
从来没有和约翰见面。耶稣，孩子。
哎，妈，是你啊！您快来看，这张桌子明天就可以完工了。
孩子，我知道你早就是个大人了，不过在你妈的眼里，你永远是个孩子。今天你做工作的够久了，把工具放下来吃个饭吧啊！我还有一些消息要在吃饭的时候告诉你呢。啊。
11580 has some blues music. It might be Blues Radio International that's broadcast from there. It actually has some really nice blues music for people that like it. 11580. And so that's WRMI. And it's Blues Radio International. Yep, Fridays. Blues Radio International right now on WRMI, sorry, on 11580. Not very strong, but 11253 upper sideband. This is the Royal Air Force weather station in the UK. Okay, even McRoberts, sync USB and sync LSB is what we call synchronous detection. Okay, what it does, okay, when a signal is not too strong and fades a lot, or even when it's strong, if it fades a lot, what the synchronous detection will do is it will replace the carrier from the station with the internal carrier of the receiver. And it's called sync because the receiver looks at the signal and synchronizes to make sure that it's exactly on frequency. So in cases where stations are fading a lot when you're listening to a shortwave broadcast, you will change it to synchronous detection. And the fact that it's separate, you have upper and lower sideband, lets you choose which carrier, which side of the information you're getting. So when you get an AM signal, say you're listening to Radio Havana, Cuba, the signal has carriers on each. It has a carrier and it has information on each side, the upper and the lower sideband, at the same time. And sometimes that can even be a problem because there's distortion on one side, not on the other, or, depending. Shortwave is very complex. But what happens is that when you use sync detection, you not only replace that fading carrier with a carrier that's made by your radio, which is much more stable, you also choose which side of the transmission, upper or lower, you're listening to. So if one side's better than the other, or if you have interference from a station on a frequency that is lower or above the frequency, well, it lets you choose not only to sync
with it, but also to choose which side you want to have the information. So sometimes one side is better than the other and is clearer than the other. So that's sync detection. It is a great feature when it works well to help with some types of signals that sometimes have a lot of fading, for example. So it's something to try always with international broadcasts. And if you have some difficulty with some stations, try it out. Now, the drawback of a synchronous detection is that when signals get weaker, sometimes the radio loses the lock on the signal. And then you'll hear kind of a tone. But it's a great feature to have on a radio, and it's one of those features that can help you really make a difference between you can't hear at all or you can actually receive and understand a shortwave broadcast. So it's really to use mostly when a signal is a little harder to receive. If you have clear reception, you don't need it. And it is to be used only with AM signals. It doesn't work. It's not, because some people wonder why lower sideband, upper sideband, so they think it's related to single sideband. Not at all. Sync detection is for AM signals only, and it is in order to improve reception by locking into an AM signal and choosing which sideband you are going to listen to by kind of stabilizing it a little more. And it does improve greatly on some signals. So try it out when you're listening to international broadcasts. So hope it's clear enough that you understand a little bit what I was, what it does. I got it on my Texan PL 680, and it's a very, very cool feature to have. Luis, how much power does it take to broadcast to the world? Not that much. For example, I've heard stations on the 10-meter amateur band that use only 1 or 2 watts from thousands of kilometers away. It's not that much a question of power, but much more of a question of knowing what frequency, what time is the best for a specific region. So you could listen to a station from the other side of the world that is only 20 watts and have it really clear when the conditions are right. So there's no fixed output, but of course a lot of international broadcasters will pump out 50 or 100 kilowatts, so 50,000 or 100,000 watts. Some stations like CRI, for example, their Albania transmitter site, will send out 500,000 watts, 500 kilowatts. But I tell you, I've heard stations from across the world with only 5, 10, 15 watts. It is very, very surprising when the conditions are good. Hey, Dante Fazio. Haven't heard any. I'm going to go on 1423 to see if I hear any. Not really receiving any signals from slow scan television right now. Not really hearing anything right now. 14101.1. Hey there, Eileen Murray. Actually, I haven't heard the Antarctica beacon yet on 14101. 5183. Let's try it out. 5.183. I hear a faint carrier, Richard, but really nothing much. Yeah, it's 14.101 upper sideband. Oh yeah, but you know, Danny, on 14.100, anybody that goes on 14.100, there's a bunch of beacons around the world that ID every minute. And actually, there's an app that you can install on your phone that tells you every time what beacon it is. It's the beacons for propagation. So they're scattered on 14100. There's a few other frequencies they are on, and they broadcast in a revolving schedule. So every 8 minutes or 10 minutes or something, you have beacons for all around the world that transmit every 20 seconds or something like that, and they actually help you know what from where in the world you can actually receive. So it's pretty cool. So 14100 are it's a cool thing to check out for sure. So let's continue tuning down.
Dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers. The Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water.
WWCR on 9980.
That purify water.
Yep, HF Beacon. That's the name of the app. Thanks, Jerry. HF Beacon.
Such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today. Complete.
Richard is hearing. Richard Cook's receiving Pyongyang on 6400 in the UK.
The purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy.
It's midday here, Eileen Murray. I won't hear anything on 2.5.
77886-3653 or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Yes, and we have pretty good at the General Secretary of Simba Sports Club.
Not bad signal from the BBC World Service from the Ascension Island transmitter side in the South Atlantic Ocean. 9915. Pretty good signal.
So tell me, Assassin, what was the atmosphere like?
Incredible. Definitely one of the most passionate football games I've ever seen. The fans are at it from the beginning to the end. It's one of the great hidden derbies of world football. I mean, this is a game that has 60,000 people in the stadium. They didn't have for the game I watched, unfortunately, because there was a ticketing issue, so it had nothing to do with the fact that fans didn't want to come. But normally, 60,000 fans attend this game, and you have tens of thousands of people outside as we had on Saturday. Great atmosphere.
Now, we have to talk about the gambling that goes on around these games. We've been hearing how some fans bet on the outcome of the match, using a night with their wives as the stake. Does this kind of thing still go on?
It's crazy, it's unbelievable, it's unimaginable, going on, and I can tell you that it went on for the last game. 2 people signed a contract with Swahili saying that they would hand over.
Bobby says can hear it on 11810. Wasn't there really? Oh yeah, it's there too.
Saw the contract in Swahili.
11810 is also another frequency.
I mean, I'm just smacked by it, but it's true. It's no joke.
And did the loser, or rather the loser's wife,
Now that's a good question. From what I was made to understand.
Oh yeah, it's a great catch, Richard Cook for Pyongyang on 6400. Marco Fernand.
Sufficient financial compensation to act as a good substitute for not honoring the bet. It's a crazy bet. I mean, anyone would believe that.
And apparently, he wasn't the only one gambling on the game. What's this about the younger supporting Taylor?
Hey there, Brett Wing. Nice to have you on board. KC2NXP. Always cool to have everybody on board. So this is the BBC World Service from the South Atlantic Ocean Relay in Ascension Islands.
And after Younger lost, it meant he had no money. And after the game, they were interviewing him on local television, and he was in tears. He was totally distraught. But again, he was lucky because other Younger fans heard what happened to him, and they did a whip round, and they have given him his working capital back. So I think he's a lucky man.
That's Sasso Berwanas, speaking from Tanzania. You're listening to World Football on the BBC World Service with me, Alan Green. Last week, the Turkish champions Besiktas took their place in the last 16 of the American League. They beat the Israelis.
Hey there, Bullfrog89. Checking in. KD2CXU. Checking in from St. Lawrence River, Lake Ontario. And nice to have you on board. And studying for his General Am license. Cool. Go get it. Go get it. Nope. Richard. You know, 2.5. Here it's the sun is setting here in about an hour's time now. So 2.5, I don't think I can get anything at all. I already have a lot of difficulty receiving WWV at midnight. So at this time, 2.5 is still impossible because of the daylight that we have. Hey, William Cordova says, got his first antenna up. Looking forward to getting on the air when he get home. Cool. Cool. Studying for extra class license. Go ahead. I need to study to get a ham license.
It was just like an earthquake or, thunderbolt, something like that, and I couldn't realize that it was a terrorist. And then, after 2 seconds, no, it wasn't raining, there's no earthquake, so it could be a terrorist attack.
Richard in Atlanta says 9915 S8 in Atlanta, Georgia.
My heart was beating crazily. Then, in 3 or 5 minutes, I heard the second noise. It was smaller from the big one, but after hearing the second noise, I was sure that it was a terrorist attack.
De agricultura para suplir las necesidades nutricionales de toda la población.
Radio Exterior de España, 9690 kilohertz from Spain.
Necesitamos tecnología para conseguir, por ejemplo, utilizar menos ingredientes no naturales. Eso se puede utilizando tecnologías y eso es lo que muchas de las empresas están haciendo, es decir, reducir el número de coadyuvantes e ingredientes sabios para conservar los alimentos en base a aplicar unas tecnologías suficientes para conseguir la seguridad alimentaria necesaria, manteniendo la calidad. Y la ciencia ficción.
Chica, ¿por qué no?
Radio Martí in the United States in Spanish, 9565 with some Cuban jamming over it a little bit.
Parecía tanto por el lado soviético como por el lado norteamericano. A ver, yo nací en el 62, en el 69 Armstrong llegó a la Luna, Gagarin un año antes que yo ya había dado la vuelta a la Tierra. Entonces parecía que cuando tú tienes 6 o 7 años te parece que 35.
You know what, William? It's just taking the time because there's an online exam that you can take on the Industry Canada here in Canada, and you know what? Just going through it, I have a score of about 80%. I already have the knowledge for the basic amateur license already. So it's just, taking the time to pass the exam and do all the things that I need to take.
La cosa tiene que ser más complicada, ¿no?
Hey there, David in Barcelona. Nice to have you on board, and pretty cool to have you here.
Oh.
And a cool signal from Radio Exterior España in Montreal, indeed.
Planeta con la misma. De hecho, el último costo de Nicanor que yo hice, el último cronológicamente, no quiere decir que va a ser el último, ya de hecho ahora terminé de filmar uno nuevo. Es también de ciencia ficción, un personaje que regresa en el pasado. O sea, un tipo que desde 2015 va al año 60 buscando épica. Porque estoy consciente que en el mundo de hoy ya nadie cree en nada, ni en Cuba ni en todas partes, ya no hay grandes ideologías.
9690 kilohertz. Richard in Atlanta says it's S10 Plus in Atlanta, Georgia, for Radio Exterior España.
Y vamos a hacer una pausa. Enseguida seguimos conversando muy rapidito. Enseguida
William, I usually go with the flow, so it goes with a lot of things. It goes with how many people are watching, the interaction, and what's to listen to. But very often it's rarely goes. It's rarely less than 3 hours. It does happen, but rarely less than 3 hours. And you never know. Sometimes it's amazing. And I've been on as long as 5 hours, which is my record. So you never know. But it depends. And pretty cool. Yep, Bullfrog, no problem. And that'd be cool. Sending out your signals my way. I can tell you that. And hey, Gene Paddy, nice to have you on board. 11175. Apparently, lots of emergency action messages from the U.S. Air Force. 8992, I believe, is another one here. I'm not really hearing anything right now, but surprising what you can hear when you just get on that frequency.
Wonon to kalleɗe e gurnami wawata lomtade ƴiijam ngam surde bakkade Allah wi sabu salade aduna jawdi ngam satat ko muttugo kayim saliide rewirde Allah no wirani e perseniide wi ko satat kabal hollude wonɗon makko e Allah na satat kayim Allah kamini e biidi.
Probably, Richard, when you get BPM on 5,000 kilohertz, you got a good path of darkness from UK up the way to China. So you're receiving 5,000. You seem to be really receiving a lot of Asians really well compared to here. Hey, UB3 DMU, nice to have you on board. Pretty good here, pretty good. Having a lot of fun and listening and streaming live and listening to the radio. Hope you are well, my friend. David in Barcelona says, I had to study for my EA exam ticket as well. Problem is I have so much fun enjoying how deep you can actually get into radio without actually transmitting. So, it's that. I had a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun listening. So I can tell you that it's great hobby. Even listening is a great hobby.
Lekki Allah nde wonno Allah yiɗa ko bone a yimɓe ɓe kayri hakkillaji men ayi tan koye caŋarte ke ɗeɗe ko wawaade Allah jomiraɗo wi man mum to yimɓe tagnoɓe ɓe fof ko dow leydi kono non kadi woniraɓe wonade nde wonno noona ko gorko pewɗo nunduɗo e nder jamanu muɗum Allah wi
I heard Cookrick. I've heard 10,000 kilohertz the other night. I was hearing some beeps And of course, there's the Brazilian station there, but I don't know. You know what? I should try 5,000 maybe, or 10,000 early in the morning, really early in the morning. That might be one of the best times for me to receive that BPM station from China. And I really need to try it out for sure. So this is from Ascension Islands in the South Atlantic Ocean. It's HCJB from Ecuador, but broadcasting from the Ascension Islands. And it's a station that they call Radio Akbar Mufriha. And it's for West Africa. So this is HCJB and transmitting from the Ascension Islands in the South Atlantic Ocean. WINB Elevator Music from 9265. Richard in Atlanta, Georgia is receiving that.
Worldwide with Pastor Peter J. Peters. Should you want to write, the address is Box 766, LaPorte, Colorado, 80535 USA. Our fax number is country code 01-307-745-5914.
WTWW in Lebanon, Tennessee, United States of America.
35 USA, fax number 01-307-745-5914. When writing, please let us know on which broadcast frequency you received this program. Scriptures for America Worldwide is an evangelical ministry dedicated to proclaiming the correct gospel of the kingdom of Christ and to revealing to the world the true scriptural identity of the true covenant people. The Bible says, quote, creation groans for the revealing of the sons of God, end quote. This ministry is supported by tithes and free will offerings. Please pray for Scriptures for America Worldwide.
Voice of Greece coming in on 94.20. I'm surprised I'm not hearing India 94.45. No India signal. Very, very, very weak for India on 94.45. So Greece, Voice of Greece with some Greek music on 94.20 kilohertz. Coming in quite well. That's not too bad at all. And let's continue tuning down. No problem, MDK2. You know, it's what Bobby says he loves international music. You know, it's part of what makes shortwave a little exotic, receiving music from different countries around the world. It really, really doing some exotic, it makes shortwave more exotic. You know, there's some stations like Greece, or even the music from Radio Nacional Amazonas from Brazil. You know, it's peculiar, it's interesting, and it really, really makes it a very unique hobby. 420 is S7 in Atlanta, Georgia.
To 35 knots within 19 nautical miles of coast of Colombia, and northeast 15 to 25 knots elsewhere. Seas 8 to 11 feet, building to 9 to 14 feet after midnight. Monday.
This is Nancy, Mexico, Nancy, NMN, the U.S. Coast Guard weather station in Chesapeake, Virginia. And this is really, by the way, Charles Ripple, that is a regular viewer here, works there, and it's pretty cool. He's always happy to see me receive this station from Chesapeake, Virginia. So U.S. Coast Guard, Chesapeake, Virginia, 8764 kilohertz upper sideband.
Tuesday night, east winds 25 to 35 knots within 19 nautical miles of coast of Colombia, and northeast 15 to 25 knots elsewhere. Seas 10 to 15 feet. Southwest Caribbean south of 11 north today. Northeast winds 15 to 25 knots. Seas 8 to 13.
Mustafa Laviv, the Degen 1103 is more difficult to find lately. I believe it is a discontinued model, so it's much more difficult to find. Let me just check it out here, just for the fun of it, on eBay. If I go on eBay Canada, and I look at Degen DE1103, sorry, whoops, because there's a new kind of DSP version of it. So, Degen 1103. So if I look at the on eBay, it's doesn't really come out much. Oh, there's one here, but it's yeah, there's one here. There are a few. There are a few. Degen D1103, there's the DSP version, new DSP version, around 100 Canadian dollars. That's what, about 70, 75, 80 US dollars. There's yeah, and the old one is still there. There's one here at 78 US dollars. So you can still find it. It's a little more difficult to find it. Well, one guy is selling. Oh, here's one. Degen DE1103 DSP radio, and around around 70, 75. I don't know if the DSP one works really well though. But there's one guy selling 3 Degens and another one selling 5 Degens. So it's pretty much the DSP version you find on eBay now. Really mostly the DSP version that you could see. So Richard and what is it? Scotty Tier 6 has posted a YouTube video checking out, decoded the weather forecast in radio teletype. And what else do we have? SG2 East Nebraska says 8764 USB S5 Plus, really good audio now.
8 feet. Sunday night.
Pretty good.
Northeast winds 15 to 25 knots.
Well, you know what, Richard? When they're in Sitor B, I can, but like I said, really small parts. It's very, very difficult. It seems to be like very touchy in the way that you can decode it.
Winds 15 to 25 knots. Seas 8 to 11 feet. Tuesday. Northeast winds 15 to 25 knots. Seas 8 to 11 feet. Tuesday night. Northeast winds 15 to 25 knots. Seas 8 to 12 feet. Offshore Leeward Islands and adjacent Atlantic waters from 15 north to 19 north, west of 55 west.
So we are at hour number 2 of our Shortwave Tuning the Band show. This is every 2 weeks on Fridays, 2000 hours UTC. Next time is going to be 2100 hours UTC. Why? Sorry. Okay, let's start over. It's going to stay 2000 hours UTC. I was getting mixed up now. Okay, so it's 2000 hours UTC, but in North America, it's going to shift 1 hour because we all going to DST, or Daylight Savings Time. But 2000 hours UTC every Friday, every 2 weeks on Friday, we have our show. We tune the bands. Tomorrow is a shortwave show. It's a special pirate show again. We're going to look at the loggings of the last month or two of what are the stations that we hear the most on pirate stations. Which pirate stations are the most active recently? And of course, answer any questions. It's always fun to really, talk about that and answer questions for everybody. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're now past 2 hours of a live show. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. My name is Gilles, and I hope you enjoyed the show once again today. So, Chesapeake, Virginia weather, 8764. This is the U.S. Coast Guard, and we continue tuning the shortwave bands.
Tonight, east winds 15 to 25 knots, seas 7 to 10 feet. Saturday, east winds 10 to 20 knots, seas 7 to 10 feet. Saturday night, east winds 10 to 20 knots, seas 6 to 9 feet. Sunday, east winds 10 to 20 knots.
Like Jill Gulick says, I believe that DGD 1103 and the Kato KA 1103 are now very difficult since they have not been made in a long time. Spark Detect, hello there, has 8764 now on his ICOM ICR10 with a 27-inch whip. It's a bit faint in St. Louis, Missouri. Nice to have you on board. Pretty cool. Gene Parody says 11175, other emergency action message. Cool. And really nice to have everybody here. Well, actually, Bobby, it's because it's mostly because that radio that we're talking about, the DGD 1103, they made a new version with DSP, which is the digital signal processing. And what's happening is that new version is actually not as good as the original one. DSP, or digital signal processing, can be good if it's well made, but in this case, it actually makes one of the best radios that were out there for not really a lot of money, and puts it really, worse than it was before, unfortunately. So this is All India Radio, 7550 kilohertz.
Today, Matt A.D. Mohabbat में sung by Muhammad Aziz and Sarah Sargam for the composition of Viju Shah and the words of Anand Bakshi.
It's funny because they say it's supposed to be digital. So this is supposed to be a DRM transmission, but it's actually in analog mode. So 7550, all India radio coming in right now on analog. So, yes, Scotty, you know what? I can understand why Richard has difficulty. Every time I've heard sit or be on that transmission, I also have a lot of difficulty decoding it. It's very, very, very touchy. I gotta say that. So next time I hear it, I'm gonna try it again. It's very, very difficult to decode. I can tell you that.
Cometido errores fundamentales como por ejemplo sentarse.
Radio Martí from the United States in Spanish.
Venezolanos, tanto dentro como fuera del país, ya no crean en la plataforma unitaria y busquen en estos momentos otras alternativas para luchar por la libertad.
PLF can receive 7550 kilohertz.
Dirigente de una organización en el exilio.
8137. Not really receiving anything right now. And
Sí la mantiene, pero con mucha debilidad. La verdad es que esa parte de los problemas que tiene Cuba, lo interno, y son tantos los problemas que tiene Venezuela en estos momentos, que ya la injerencia cubana y la presencia no es tan fuerte como en el pasado. Y creo que ese distanciamiento...
I would get one of the Texan receivers, Mustafa. I would get Texan PL 660, 680. You know, if you want to have something more in the price range of the 1103, I believe you can still have the 600, but you know, I would get PL 660 from Texan. Really great radio, and I think you'll love it. I even would think that it has even a little edge over the PL, over the Degen.
Que realmente puedan estrechar unas relaciones como las que tuvieron cuando Hugo Chávez y Fidel Castro estaban vivos.
Son dos países con similar situación política y con similar situación económica, Cuba y Venezuela, lo que representa que el socialismo del siglo XXI es un fracaso.
No, sin duda alguna. Yo pienso y así que estamos claros que esos modelos son tan fracasados que lo podemos ver en las consecuencias que están corriendo el pueblo cubano y el pueblo venezolano, y que realmente no es un modelo a seguir por ninguna sociedad inteligente o país en el mundo. Ahora bien, lo que importa es que ambas sociedades tengan la capacidad de organizarse de la manera eficiente, encontrar los líderes correctos para poder impulsar los cambios que ambas sociedades y ambos países necesitan. Lamentablemente, aunque son regímenes que han fracasado en lo político, en lo económico y en lo social.
Try plugging Spark Detect. You should try plugging a few feet of wire on that antenna on your R10, and you could see a huge difference. And very often, it changes from room to room also. And there's also the noise level. Carrier on 11.232.
Llamado.
Let's check it out. 11.232. Don't have nothing around 11.232, my friend.
Alimentos y...
So 7335 seems to be the Oli Quran. At 7335, what station could that be? It's Radio Algerian. So this is Algeria via the France transmitter site. Radio Algerian in Arabic on 7335. This is coming quite well here. SG2 East Nebraska says 7405 was S9. Very good signal there. Richard in Atlanta says 7335 at S5. Hey there, Europe DX. Danny Shortwave Radio DX 7335 says quite strong where he is. This is, from what I hear, China Radio International, but it's a direct transmission from China in Spanish. Let's try it out. Jerry says Guadeloupe on 14242, upper sideband.
To Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe, French West Indies, Roger.
14242, upper sideband. Amateur station from the island of Guadeloupe in the Caribbean.
Thank you, that's for Germany number 5. Germany Papa, thank you Japan. Kilo Bravo. Alpha Sierra, call again. Kilo 1 Alpha Sierra. Okay, KSL. Okay, Mauritian 3, thank you. Kilo 1 Alpha Sierra. Fox Gold 5 Golf Papa. Okay, you are card 9.5. Okay, KSL, thank you very much for tuning to my check shit. You are 5 to 10. 5 to 10 DBO 9, Roger. 7 to you. God bless. Bye-bye. Thank you, Japan. Thank you, JA. Fox Golf 5, Golf Papa to JA. The Bravo Tango, come again. Kilo Mike 4 Echo Bravo Tango.
Yeah, Europe DX, the Legion DE13 is actually a very amazing little portable radio. It's one of the, if you have to buy an emergency radio with, solar and everything, the Legion DE13 is just amazing for a little analog radio that's very cheap, but it's also a crank radio, solar radio. It is amazingly cool for the price it is.
Yeah, Mustafa, the E13 is a analog shortwave receiver, so it's a little dial, with a needle in it and everything. But for what it is, it's pretty cool. And but don't get that instead of a Texan PL660. But it's pretty amazing for what it is. Jean Paradis says Shannon Volmet 5505 coming in upper sideband. That's from from Shannon, Ireland.
Como a 10 pies de altura, Luis. ¿Qué? 10 pies de altura, no llegan ni a 6. No llegan ni a 6 pies de altura, Luis. Y
al comercio electrónico en internet usando su plataforma Taobao.
Channel Radio International from Albania transmitter side on 7210 in Spanish.
Y el entretenimiento. Actualmente, Ali Salud, una nueva plataforma de 2 años de historia, está forjando esa imagen del futuro de Jack Ma en el sector médico y farmacéutico. Los hospitales públicos usan la tecnología de los datos para la informatización propia. Los sitios web que se dedican a la consulta médica, como WeDoctor, HowDive Online, la usan para crear la conexión entre el personal médico y las compañías de comercio electrónico, como Jingdong, Tmall, la aprovechan para realizar...
Hey Dean, has the DJMD E13, which is awesome. I have 104 subs, which is amazing. And hey Dean, if you want me to share your radio channel, let me know. I'll be happy to do so. Richard Atlanta says, now you have me thinking of a sub sandwich. Actually, you mentioned a sub sandwich, and now it's giving me the munchies. I feel like, I don't know, a bag of chips or something. Or a bag of Doritos. PLF says 7210, very good signal in France.
Registró el proceso del juego, del concurso de la sabiduría entre seres humanos, a través de los cuales aprendió y analizó hasta que logró formar un modelo que lo dominara. En el siguiente paso, tendría una mayor probabilidad de ganar. Luego, al jugar con seres humanos, pudo vencerlos sin problemas. Esto es lo que queremos traer al sector médico.
En realidad, un robot virtual llamado Ali Xiaomi ya está en función en la aplicación de Taobao. Es como un guía de compra o un asistente al cliente, pero si le cuentas que tienes un resfriado, te preguntará la edad, el sexo, los síntomas.
But it's loud and clear. So, how are you hearing with the new headset? Is that helping for your hearing in the headset versus the speaker?
Kilo Papa, Poland, sitio fuori, Kilo Papa, 4 Kilo Papa, Poland, sitio fuori, se cambio, sitio metro, cambio, Kilo Papa, 4 Kilo Papa, se cambio, Poland, pisa, por favor.
All right, guys, I don't want to, he wants to frequency, so I don't mind. Take it, my friend, you need it more than I do. Have fun. See you guys. Bye-bye, Elaine. See you, Joe. And bye-bye, you know, that you're still on frequency.
Okay, Burby, count me in, Bobby Burgess. I'm coming over after the show, so just order a little bigger pizza, please. And all you have to do is tell me how much it costs, and for my part, so we'll have pizza together.
cloud at 2,000, ceiling 6,000 broken. Edmonton, forecast amended.
So this is Gander Radio and Gander, Newfoundland, Canada, with aeronautical weather across Canada.
Until the 4th at 1800 Zulu. Wind 200 degrees, 12 knots, gusting 22 knots. Visibility more than 6 miles. Few clouds at 9,000. Ceiling to 5,000 broken. Becoming between 2200 Zulu and 0000 Zulu. Wind 330 degrees, 15 knots, gusting 25 knots. From 0000 Zulu, wind 350 degrees, 12 knots. Visibility more than 6 miles, 8,000 scattered. Ceiling 18,000 broken. Probability 30%, 0000 Zulu until 0200 Zulu. Visibility 2 miles. Light rain showers, snow pellets. Becoming between 0200 Zulu and 0400 Zulu. Wind 350 degrees, 10 knots. From 0400 Zulu, wind 030 degrees, 10 knots. Visibility more than 6 miles, 4,000 scattered. Ceiling 18,000 broken. Temporarily 0400 Zulu until 0800 Zulu.
Well, let me know, Dean. What's the name of your channel? Just post the name of your channel, and I'll make the review. Let me know for sure. I'm going through all the different YouTube channels that have radio videos right now, and everybody that's worth mentioning, I will post a video. And you know, it's a great way to bring everybody together and to ignore the idiots that are too negative. So just let me know, Dean, what channel you have, and I'll be happy to share it with everybody.
100 Zulu and 0300 Zulu. Wind 200 degrees, 10 knots. From 0300 Zulu. Wind 200 degrees, 10 knots. Visibility more than 6 miles. Ceiling to 5,000 broken.
This station, Evan McRoberts, is located in Gander, Newfoundland, Canada, and in the east part of Canada.
This is Gander Radio, out. All stations, this is New York Radio.
And now we have New York Radio from New York.
Terminal aerodrome forecast for the period ending
11580 is Glenn Hauser's World of Radio that's just starting right now. 11580 WRMI. Glenn Hauser with his excellent DX and radio program every week.
Alaska, Antarctica, Australia, Bougainville, Brazil, Cambodia, Canada, Central African Republic, China, Europe, India, Indonesia, Korea.
So you're Europe DX, okay. I didn't make the link between Europe DX and Dean. So okay.
More about the HAARP test from Alaska, February 20th to 22nd. During the test, we never had any indication what the call sign of the transmitter was or were, but an article in ARRL via Mike Terry says it was operating under Part 5 experimental license WI2XFX to encourage QSLing. Bruce Churchill in California said a generic QSL design. And checking the blog of Chris Follen, the experimenter for the series of tests. QSL cards and shrink wrap. But he says, please be patient. I'm bouncing back and forth to Anchorage for university stuff. And from what I can see, they do not include the call sign, although I suppose it could be written in. And another twit from Chris Follen says, harp again, perhaps sometime this summer. Hot news from Manuel Mendez in Spain, late on March 1st. LRA 36 on the air from Antarctica, 15476.0, Radio Nacional, Arcángel San Gabriel, heard March 1st from 2000 to 2015 UT. An hour earlier, he says, Hugo Lopez in Santiago de Chile sent me a WhatsApp informing that the station is on the air with a weak signal. I tried here in Lugo, Spain at 1930, but strong interference from Advances Radio in Arabic on 15480. But at 20...
Hey, you guys, you're making me hungry now with these slices of pizza and talking of food.
As I recall, they have been off the air all northern winter or southern summer. They're only on the air a few months a year, apparently. And it depends on the comings and goings of new staff at the Esperanza base. The nominal schedule in the past has been Monday through Friday only, between 18 and 21 UT, give or take. Of course, I rushed to my receiver, but could not hear even a carrier yet on 15476. Thanks to Artie Bigley, William Lee, and Mike Terry for more and more press from within Australia about the continuing opposition to ABC closing down domestic and external shortwave broadcasts. The person responsible is ABC Managing Director Michelle Guthrie, and she had to appear before a Senate Estimates Committee. But she maintained that the ABC would not reverse its decision, and she said it's not her job to lobby for ABC funding.
No, Bobby, this is a different one. Wavescan is a different show. This one is World of Radio. This guy is Glenn Hauser. He's a very well-known guy in the shortwave hobby, and has been having this show called World of Radio for a very, very long time. And but it is via WRMI also. And this is a radio show from a guy that's pretty, pretty well-known guy in the sphere of shortwave radio.
Weather charts.
Yes, Danny Shortwave. I want to have spicy buffalo wings, please. Please send some my way.
Saw it February 26th at 16:57, fading out after 17:05. The schedule is at www.bom.gov.au, and that frequency is given as 24 hours, also 10.555 and 7.535, while two others are day or night, 18.060 from 21 to 11, 5755 from 11 to 21. So carry around your fax receiver if you can't hear Radio Australia. We also have a sister station in Eastern Australia, Charleville, VMC. And its schedule is also available 24 hours on 5100, 11030, 13920, 09 to 19 UT on 2628, and 19 to 09 on 20469. Stations also offer marine weather voice transmissions, which I have heard, especially on 12365 and 12362, which are scheduled 24 hours a day. T-Squared says, since their power is only 1 kilowatt each, do not expect huge signals. It's almost as if they are coordinating now rather than competing, but the two stations on 3325 are reported by Ron Howard.
Hey, take care, PLF. It was nice to have you on board. Tomorrow we have a show at 2000 hours UT. Once again, we'll talk about pirate radio and see what pirate radio stations are around. Rich in Atlanta, Georgia says sausage, mushroom, onions, pizza. How's that? Cool.
Station has reappeared. At least I had not run across it for some time in frequent band scans. Radio Novo Tempo. It's below 4895, measured February 24th at 0216 on 4894.93. Watch out for India also on this frequency, which might still be propagating past sunrise there, but this was obviously Brazilian. And not the other one on 4895 in some outdated lists, Radio Barra, which has been off the air for a long time. And I heard Radio Novo Tempo again, which has a religious and musical format on February 25th at 0119 and still a carrier at least at 06.
Yeah, Jerry, I'd rather have a pizza. You know what? I'm a French Quebec guy, but you know what? Poutine, I take 2 or 3 bites. It's enough. I'd rather have pizza than have poutine.
At the Rodiador site, RNA or RNB was missing from 11780 and 6180. This was explained in the Hodges Scudas group by Ariovaldo Lubrito on February 22nd that there was a breakdown of the transformer at the power substation for the transmitter site. However, when he wrote 25 meters was back.
SG2, East Nebraska says Papa John's drone is on the way. Yeah, I want to have a drone pizza. I'd like that. I want to see the drone draw the pizza here.
No transmitter was instead putting out a huge distorted blob well below that frequency, as well as a very weak signal on its proper frequency. I was hearing that February 25th from 0131, covering the range from about 6147 to 6157, and interfering with anything in the area. It was still around there the following night, UT Sunday, February 26th, the one night a week when the mighty KBC from the Netherlands via Germany is on 6145 between midnight and 02 UT, but on this occasion receiving severe interference or blockage from Brazil. More about that later. Some listeners were questioning the source of this parasitic spur blob, but I was able to match the pauses in the modulation and even recognize some of the modulation to match 11780.
Hey there, David Arden, KJ4CMY. Nice to have you on board as usual.
Or 6115 interfering with.
Oui, ça va bien, Mustafa Labib. Ça va très bien.
Finally realized something was wrong because as of 0614 UT March 1st, the spur blobs were gone from 49 meters as well as 6180 while 11780 continued. Who knows what will happen next, but watch out.
Hey there, Rolf Philly Senior. Rolf Philly Senior. Just tuned in, 73's KJ4PFC. And what are you running upstairs for an antenna? I have a 22 meter long sloper antenna in the backyard. Its orientation is east-west, and it is not bad. Yes, you know what, David? I was thinking about that about a year and a half ago. Glenn Hauser, I remember he was sick a little bit, and since then I always thought that he sounded older than he was before. But I mean, this guy is, I don't know what's the age of Glenn Hauser, but he's for sure he's older than me.
The money required to purchase a new transmitter doesn't make sense because of the low numbers of people who use it. Changing world, everything's online, blah, blah, blah. Before you say it, yes, I know. Anyway, there's no other way to voice your displeasure than the audience relations number, 1-866-306-4636. And Colin Neal posts a longer story about this on his website. For many residents of BC over the last 70 years, if you lived in an out-of-the-way place, 6160 kilohertz was likely your only source of news, commentary, and entertainment. It's been on for as long as I can remember. I was a 12-year-old when I first discovered 690 in Vancouver was being relayed by a low-powered transmitter out in the mudflats of Richmond. Through the years, this little 1,000-watt transmitter covered BC and the Pacific Northwest, or Southwest, with a pretty darn good signal, often being heard around the world. It served the fishing fleet in the Pacific, hunters and trappers in the wilds of British Columbia, geologists and foresters working in places served by nothing more than fresh air, sunshine, and moonlight. But time moves on.
Now, you know you're popular when you got a Wikipedia page devoted to you, who you are. I should check my name. Who knows? Maybe somebody did bad Wikipedia page for me.
Larger than NNL. You would think.
Yeah, and that's the only thing Glenn Hauser's. It's sad because Glenn Hauser is a great program, but over the years he's been pushed out of stations like WWCR for the simple reason that he voices his opinion on the religious broadcasts. Thing is, religious broadcasts for WWCR and many stations, even WRMI, are a very important thing. And, he's got some really cool airtime, most of it free. And I got to say that he should be a little more careful, I think. Not, he's allowed to have his voice, but he should really, just voice a little less his opinion. He's lost some great spots because of that, and it's sad because I like Glenn Hauser's program for sure. So, Stair, yes, Brother Stair did, he's like, I don't know, he's that guy that has a past, and now, he did some bad stuff, and now he wants to, I don't know, repent from God by doing some broadcast or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's go back to 6604.
-5, altimeter.
Para todo mundo. E o grupo que eu vou desfilar é na Rota da Seda.
Ah, na Rota da Seda?
Na Rota da Seda.
Olha isso, mais chinês impossível.
Brother Stair is completely nuts. You know what? When I see Brother Stair talking about how the world is 6,000 years old and that science is completely nuts, boy, I can't believe that in 2017 people like that are still there.
Uma viagem de China para São Vicente, Mindelo, que é a minha cidade. E eu falei, eu é que estou chegando da China para Mindelo, para passar o carnaval com eles. E muito obrigada pela oportunidade de passar essa mensagem para outras pessoas.
Nós que agradecemos. Encerramos agora o nosso programa Sala de Visitas. Até a próxima.
用国语学汉语，每日汉语。
Aprenda o chinês com aulas de sua língua materna, chinês dia a dia.
No problem, Spark Attack. And, he is, I know he's over medium wave too in the United States. China Radio International from Albania transmitter site.
Olá, bem-vindos ao Chinês Dia a Dia. Sou sua anfitriã Tintin.
大家好，sou Raimundo.
Da outra vez, focamos em expressões relacionadas.
In other organizations for years, and yet Border Patrol persists in acting as a
CKZN in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada, the CBC outlet, or Canadian Broadcasting Corporation outlet on shortwave, 6160 kilohertz.
by the Trump administration's agenda of hatred and xenophobia. So it might not be the best business practice to be known as a company that's conspiring on immigration agents behind the back of customers. It's also, I think, really important to emphasize the practical impact of this practice. It could be that people are going to take time out to avoid detection, just as they do on the southwest border, where Border Patrol enforcement drives people into the deadliest parts of the desert, where hundreds of men, women, and children have died, thousands over the years. And so
William, with that picture you sent me of a beer and pizza, you're making me really hungry now.
but is unfortunately consistent with a fundamentally inhumane model of enforcement that they operate under.
Are there any laws preventing a taxi driver from taking someone whose visa might have expired to a place where they could make an illegal crossing into Canada?
Well, taxis don't ask people for their papers when they get into a cab, and there's no reason that they have to. Generally, it would be pretty odd for a cab driver to turn back to you and ask you for identification or the status of your visa before you got into the cab or before you requested a ride. It's really none of their business. Millions of people cross our borders every day. It's really not their place. Certainly, they can choose to ask people anything they want to. They can choose to communicate with the Border Patrol.
Brett Wayne says 6160 S7 in Western New York. Cool.
Is there any potential liability if a cab...
Hey, Jay Townsend, it's nice to have you on board.
Middle of nowhere where they might...
Yeah, it was Chinese for Portuguese speakers.
Crossing?
Not that I know. Last time I checked, people hire cabs to take them places. And the last time I checked, it's generally not the cab driver's responsibility to make sure that after they get out of the cab that they get to where they said they were going, or it's really not the business of the cab company to be.
Well, Jay Townsend, it's an old DSP, so basically there's so much better stuff today probably that you can have. I like it for several reasons. First of all, receivers don't have the power to really give external speakers the sound that they need. So one of the first things that I like about the DSP here, it's got a amplifier, so I can drive a speaker with my ICOM easily. So that's one first thing. But what I like is that, okay, this, of course, is plugs on the audio side of the radio. So a DSP can be on two sides, the audio side, or could be internal directly in the circuitry of your radio. And the difference is that an external one only has effect on the audio. So it doesn't do as much as one that's in the radio, in the electronics, that can actually play with all of the signal itself. But it is interesting because it adds audio filters. So for example, if I listen to CW Morse code or really more narrow signals and there's interference, well, the audio filters will help me narrow down so I don't hear the other signals even though they are there, because it narrows the frequency range of the audio. So that helps. And the fact that also it has one of the best notch filters. What's a notch filter? When sometimes you're listening to a signal and there's this whining tone, heterodyne. Well, this one has an automatic notch. So that means when a tone appears, it immediately removes the tone. You don't even need to tune around or nothing. It finds the tone, the frequency, and it just removes it. And not just one. If there's 2, 3, 4 tones, it will remove all of them. So there are some really cool stuff to this. On the DSP side, it's a little harsh. But, even though it's not perfect and it's on the audio, I got to say, having it, if you have one, it's cool using it because you will use it regularly for different things. But of course, it really is an old one, so it doesn't compete with today's digital signal processors, especially the ones that are built-in receivers. But it's a cool little box to have, I can tell you that. Hey there, I-588, nice to have you on board. From Baltimore.
The hiss.
Yep, it's the realistic DSP-40. It's a Radio Shack model. The realistic DSP-40.
Jersey, officials have been euthanizing the bird since 2010 in order to control the population. But this week, the town changed its approach. It announced it has decided to stop using lethal methods on Canadian geese. Michael McPartland is the mayor of Edgewater, New Jersey, and that is where we reached him.
Mayor McPartland, why do you have this change of heart when it comes to euthanizing Canadian geese in your town?
Well, I tell you what, it was just a matter of common sense. Over the past couple of years, the number of birds that we have captured has gone down significantly. As you're probably aware, we started the program around 2010. That year we collected about 100 birds. The next year it was 75. And by chance, last year we only collected 7 birds. So we thought...
Yeah, Caribbean Beacon on 60... not 6069. Caribbean Beacon is on 6090, Richard and Penta, but it has distorted audio on 6090.
Year when they're molting and they can't fly. So what they do is they catch them in the toilet, basically put them in the back of a truck, and they take the tailpipes, stick it into the back of the truck, and the birds fall asleep, and that's how they do their euthanizing.
All right. Now, what kind of problems were the birds posing in the community before this began?
We're along the Hudson River. We're just about a mile south of the George Washington Bridge. We're looking over, we have the Manhattan skyline. And, it was an older field that over the years, it always was a little soggy down there. And after a good hard rain, it gets really soupy, and then the birds come up from the river. And years ago, they used to migrate, but now the birds have gotten real comfortable. People feed them. I don't want to say they're lazy birds, but they are, it seems, that they just get used to living in an area. And what happened was the field was getting so inundated with goose poop that there was concerned parents came to council meetings way back before I was mayor. And what they did is they tried some non-lethal methods for years to know.
Oh, that's a great catch, Jay Townsend. Voice of Hope Africa testing on 4965 kilohertz. Really, really good catch there. You know what? I've been receiving amazingly well radio Sonder Grens on 3320 and also Channel Africa on 3345 kilohertz. Really low frequencies, around 0300 UT. And I'm surprised at how strong the signals were lately.
The man was driving.
These are from South Africa. Hey, take care, Mustafa Labib. Always nice to have you here. And tomorrow, if you can join in, I am going to be live starting at 2000 hours UT. We're going to talk about pirate radio.
Euthanizing the birds, what they do nest destruction. What they do is they idle eggs, they pour corn oil on the eggs don't hatch, and that helped.
I have to ask you what this field you made.
Hey there, Sputnik. Nice to have you on board. Hello there, Red Lamp. Nice to have you here.
We had baseball field, soccer field, football field, and just a big general park along the scenic Hudson. 2 years ago, we started the reconstruction of the park, and that actually helped. So now that we're at this point, what we've done with the construction of the field is we've done some habitat modifications with fencing, with fishing line in it that'll prevent the birds from walking up from the river.
Right.
And what I'd like to do, I'm experimenting with the idea or exploring.
Here, Robert Schiffer. Voice of Korea is almost impossible at this time of day. It's mostly in the morning that I hear it.
He's there all day, and I'll let one of my Department of Public Works guys handle the dog, or one of my police guys.
Estimulan, que te dicen lo vas a lograr, que te dan una mano.
This is WWCR, and I believe this is the program Frecuencia al Dia. Frecuencia al Dia is that DX program that they have on WWCR in Spanish.
Dios envía como ángeles para que estén a nuestro lado. Y en esos momentos difíciles siempre hubo ángeles. Por eso yo creo que la esperanza surge en esos momentos difíciles, cuando el amigo, el cónyuge, el padre o el hijo viene con el abrazo, te anima, te alienta. Eso es crucial.
Cool, Robert. You got your Texan PL380. How do you like it? It's a great little receiver.
Creo que es una persona que yo sé que la tiene y que cultiva, no solamente es a nivel personal, sino en otros. ¿Cuáles han sido los beneficios? Porque creo que cuando nosotros los conocemos nos animamos y decimos, voy tras eso también.
For those that wonder what a Texan PL380 looks like, this is exactly what it looks like. The Texan PL380 receiver. Great little receiver. This is an amazing receiver for the price that you pay. Gotta say.
Alcance la meta, no seamos...
Caribbean Beacon with a very, very distorted audio on the transmitter, 6090 kilohertz. from the island of Anguilla in the Caribbean. Something very weak on 5905. Very weak on 5905. Let's check out what that could station that could that be. 5905 at this time would be BBC World Service via Thailand Relay. Not even, it's 20, yeah, that would be BBC via Thailand.
Finalement, toi, tu vas être capable de descendre, la trail est potable.
Affirmatif. Aujourd'hui, je vais partout où je veux, là, puis la neige, ça monte beaucoup moins que le câble, là, étant donné qu'il a fait froid cette nuit, là, ça fait un peu comme condensé, là. Fait que, non, moi, je vais exactement partout où je décide d'aller.
Bon, fait que ça a été juste de courte durée, le temps de l'attente.
Oh, this is the northern service here in the northern of Quebec, where this is French, and these are local Quebec residents, and they have like the Radio Alma radios where they talk to the northern parts of Quebec. Amazing, and it's pretty strong too. This is amazing. She's saying that she removed the snow, but below it was some ice and it was very difficult, and that it's damn cold. That's pretty much what they're talking about right now.
Bon, ben vois-tu, c'est pour ça qu'ils vont enlever le blanc pour garder le noir.
Oui, mais je le savais, mais il faut juste prendre le temps de le faire. Fait que c'est fait. À part de ça, là, tantôt, je m'en vais souper chez Alec. Il m'a appelé tantôt, puis il s'est fait une bouffe, là, puis c'est ça, il m'invite à la partager, fait que je vais aller souper avec lui, là.
Bon, ben c'est bien, tu le salueras de ma part, il va bien?
Oui, il va bien. Oui, franchement, ça s'améliore de beaucoup, là. Les médicaments aussi, ça fait tout un changement, là.
Bon, ben c'est bien, c'est le fun d'entendre ça. T'as pas eu de nouvelles de Guillaume, tu sais pas ce qui est rendu?
Non, mais c'est ça qui est rendu en Virginie, là. Il m'a dit qu'il arrêtait en Virginie, ils vont peut-être passer une journée ou deux. Puis après ça, ils sont sûrs continuer jusqu'au Caroline.
You know, Richard in Atlanta, I don't think they are aware at all that modulation is poor. And you know what? That makes me wonder another thing. When propagation and when modulation is really bad and there's nobody listening in, are they just spending money on something and they have no idea people are listening or what? I'm really curious because when it gets bad, it's like, you know, Radio Cairo. Don't they see that they don't receive reception reports really because transmissions are so bad that you don't understand a thing? It makes me wonder where sometimes people are just spending money and that's it. I mean, come on. At least we could have something interesting like the voice of Anguilla in English to North America with some programs from their island instead of that boring Jesus thing 24 hours a day.
Qu'est-ce que tu disais? Fait que c'est ça. Je vais avoir des nouvelles. Il m'a dit qu'il me donnerait des nouvelles quand il sera installé. Fait que il me tiendra au courant. Tu m'enverras quelques photos là, des endroits que tu vas aller. Fait que je vais en avoir sous peu, là, probablement.
Bon, ben c'est bien. De toute façon, tu me mettras au courant demain. Moi, je sors demain, là.
OK, tu pars demain. Fait que bon, ben c'est beau comme ça. Fait que demain matin, on se parlera pas.
Ben, ça dépend de l'heure que tu te lèves.
Ben oui, mais tu le sais, je me lève tard. Je suis pas capable de me lever de bonne heure, moi. Fait que, surtout quand je suis seule, là, c'est tellement... Il n'y a pas de bruit, il n'y a rien. Fait que je pense que tu dois être là. Mais de toute façon, j'ouvrirai mon radio pareil, là. Je vais t'essayer, puis si t'es pas là, ben je vais laisser le radio ouvert, puis quand tu seras rendu au pick-up, peut-être tu m'appelleras, je sais pas.
Ouais, c'est ça, je prendrai une chance de t'essayer mobile, là. Fait que, c'est ça, d'habitude, je me lève à 6 heures, fait que je commence à ramasser mes petits, là, puis avant hier, là, j'étais parti du site à 9 heures, là. Fait que, c'est à peu près l'heure que tu m'appelles, là. Fait que, en tout cas, tu prendras une chance ou je t'essaierai à partir du truc.
Well, she just said that she's going to leave the radio open in case he calls back. It seems to be her husband or something, and that she's going to leave the radio open to see if he ever calls back later tonight.
Oh, tu vas dans le camion ou on va essayer de tout tiens au téléphone.
Non, ben c'est bien, là. T'es bien drillé, là. Fait que... Alors, c'est ça. En passant, on est plus tout seul sur la fréquence, là. Il y a d'autres stations qui sont à l'écoute.
OK, bon, il n'y a pas de problème. J'ai pas de secret, Gilles.
Hey, his name is Gilles, exactly like me. She just called him. She said, hey, I have no secrets, Gilles, because the guy said there are other stations that could be listening. And she said, I have no secrets, Gilles. It's like, hey, he's called Gilles also. Popular name in Quebec.
Ouais, OK. Bon, ben, de toute façon, c'est toi le boss, là. C'est tout seul à bord. Fait que tu manges quand t'as faim, là. Fait que
Hey, John Ritson, take care. Tomorrow, another shortwave show. And you know what? I'm about to go off also. I'm hungry because you guys have been talking about food. And, who knows, Richard? You know, that could be possible. They could be having an affair and we don't know. So that would be possible. So, hey, guys, you know what? I'm going to say bye. We've been on for 3 hours, a little more than 3 hours. Tomorrow's a shortwave show, so we're going to talk about pirates, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So, hope you guys enjoyed this Tuning the Bands for tonight. Tomorrow, 2000 hours UTC, we're here. And, of course, we have other shows. We have the YouTube channel for Windows, where we have some shows with answering your tech questions on Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern. 2000 hours UT. We have our new Windows Insider Hours show on the Windows Insider channel, which is at 6 p.m. Eastern, 2300 hours UT. We have From the Couch, which is every Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2100 hours UT. Next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 UTC, we have a show for basically retro gaming. We'll probably plug in the Atari 1040 ST and play some games on it. And if you miss out the show tomorrow, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Remember that in 2 weeks, the shows on Friday and Saturday will be at 2000 hours UTC again. But if you're in North America, don't forget that we changed time for daylight savings times. So it changes 1 hour for North American viewers. So just be careful, but we stay at 2000 hours UT. So take care, everybody. It was really cool to have everyone here. Always nice to have everybody on board. Please, if you can make a PayPal donation, it's really appreciated. It's a great way to help me continue doing what I do. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow. See you soon. Take care, all. Bye-bye.